Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you again for allowing me to be part of your day. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Guys, please like, subscribe, and share. If you don't like me, at the end you can unsubscribe and you can unlike if you want. It's not a cult. We don't make you stay. Guys, listen. I was listening to the prosecutor I was listening to an interview with, I believe it was the prosecutor of the Ruby, Frankie, and Jodi Hildebrandt case, right? So, as you guys know, Ruby Frankie, 8 passengers, 2.2 million people followed her and took parenting advice from her. Not all 2.2 took parenting advice, but 2.2 million followers on YouTube, and a lot looked up to them. Looked up to Ruby Frankie as some sort of great mom. Yet we saw things. We saw how she punished her kids by not giving them food. And there were people that actually called CPS about that. And CPS, I think, knocked on the door. Nobody answered, and they never followed through with it. CPS, guys, that system has to change, because from that moment on, as far as I'm concerned, CPS was partly responsible for what happened to those children. So you can't keep failing. And a government agency that is there to look out for children can't keep failing its children. Please, that's what happened with Timothy Ferguson. He wasn't supposed to be in the custody of his mom. And look at what happened. Look at what happened there. Timothy Ferguson, no more. And the most horrendous way of going, as you guys know, he was slowly and calculated. It was slowly and calculated. And it was Tortured. He was that. But so was Ruby Frankie's kids. So was E and R. He's just 12 years old. And E's 10 years old now, and these kids have to live with the fact that this happened to them. And, I talk about taking the spirit away from a child is just a crime. And I still don't understand what was going on here, but I am convinced that Jodi Hildebrandt is convinced that she hears orders from God. She gets direction from God. That's what I heard on that interview. Where Ruby, according to the prosecution, Ruby, saw the errors of her ways. And, how do you see the errors? How are you so brainwashed? Because they were taking those kids to Arizona. Jodi was actively looking for a ranch to live in Arizona, to take those kids and Ruby, and she was going to make them right, those kids. She actually thought, and still thinks, she's even in the jail, she's still claiming to get revelations or direction from God. And people buy into that still? Well, look at Warren. Look at Warren Jeffs. He's running a congregation after admitting that he was full of crap, that he was a liar. And then he gets his people back by saying, yeah, I had to say that. Come on. I think that Ruby Frankie always had it in her to be mean to her kids, to push too hard, to pinch too hard, to bite a little bit too hard, to not be able to stop herself. I don't know that she could have done all of this on her own. So she was looking for somebody to give her permission to do that to her kids. Her kid one day forgot lunch. It was the youngest one. It was E, right? She was, 6 years old. She forgot lunch. Teacher calls up and says, hey, she forgot lunch. That's okay. She's supposed to make her own lunch. She said she was going to make her own lunch. She didn't make her own lunch, so I hope nobody gives her anything. I'm not going to go and make you feel comfortable because she's hungry. I wonder how that's going to work in jail. They don't even do that in jail. They have to feed you in jail. They have to make sure that you're warm. You know, they have to take care of you, clothe you. They can't tie you up. They can't do that. Here's the thing. I think because there was abuse, you know, with kids, I can't imagine them being very popular in jail. At least I hope not, because if pardons and parole says, oh, you know, 4 years, she learned, you know, I would assume that Jodi is going to stay in longer than Ruby, because they're saying that Jodi was the whole mastermind behind everything. Jodi was the whole mastermind behind everything. So Ruby kind of followed Jodi. They're saying that if there was no Jodi, Ruby wouldn't have, but Ruby did. And Ruby sought out Jodi. Because Jodi was the same therapist, I believe, that had Chad, her oldest son, go to that wilderness camp. And took Chad, and was the idea for Chad to get his bed taken away. Have you guys seen the interview with Jodi Hildebrandt, the niece of Jodi Hildebrandt? Fascinating. They'll tell you that they had to go and sleep out in the snow. They were sleeping out in the snow when they were with their aunt. Their aunt was trying to get the devil out of them too. What is the devil in them? What does that look like? I would love to ask, like Jodi Hildebrandt, what does the devil look like in these kids? Are they just kids? Everybody who's a kid has the devil in them? Like, what is it is there any good kid? And if there's any good kid, what do they look like? What's the distinguishing factor? And who are you to decide one or the other? But then again, she's saying she's getting direction from God. If she honestly believes she's getting direction from God, then what do we say about that? My God ain't telling her to do that for sure. But seriously, if she's put in a cell by herself, you think she'll hear less? If she's put in a cell with other people, do you think she'll hear from God less? Do you think over the course of time she'll learn? Honestly learn? Because this has been going on for decades. She had children. She had her own children that want nothing to do with her. I'm talking about Jodi. I don't see any of Ruby's kids, the older kids. I mean, I saw Chad dancing to the fact that his mom was going to jail or going to prison. And Sherry, we all know, she was like, that's about time. So this has been going on for a long time too. And I'm sure that they sensed that maybe something was up, but was it control? Is it control? What makes a mom do that? Tell me what you think, guys. I want to know. I'm going to have that book in my ear, Visions of Glory, and see, just try to understand. Like, I just want to try to understand. But I did hear that interview, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. So I'm going to tag that interview. I hope I remember. Guys, if I ever tell you I'm going to tag something and you look and it's not there, can you hit me up and say, hey? Because sometimes I forget. Because a lot of times, like, right now I'm petting my dog. So when I go to, it could be an hour or two before I put this video up. So then I still have to get that part of it for YouTube, you know, the description. And that's when I put stuff in there as far as the tagging and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Tell me what you think. Ruby, Frankie, Jodi Hildebrandt, what's up? And, yeah. And have a great day, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Don't forget, be better today than you were yesterday, but not half as good as you're going to be tomorrow. And always, always be yourself. Thanks, guys. Share the video because, as you guys know, 10%, bless you, as you guys know, 10% of my videos, the monies go to somewhere, and we will find something that 10% of the Ruby, Frankie, and Jodi Hildebrandt for the kids. That we'll find something and we'll send that there. Okay, guys. Thanks again. Have a good one, guys. Thanks.